I'm a little sick, have a little bit of a cold, but that is not going to ruin Halloween. My boyfriend and I'm at his place right now. We're going to go to the Eastern State Penitentiary today. It's still early, just wanted to do my hair and also do some talk therapy. Y como buena Latina. Life post-grad has been stressful, interesting, exciting. I'll say this, feels like for the first time ever, I actually have time to do things I've been wanting to do. Because let me tell you something, the NYU film program, pressure is a privilege, and that's something I always like reminding myself. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to figure out where I want to start off. I feel like I've done a lot of production assistant roles. I've interned at production companies, and I'm currently right now actually an assistant for a super talented director, Harana Adesu. Yeah, I've been figuring it out like everybody else. I even picked up a new hobby. I am taking salsa dancing lessons. For those of you who don't know, I am Colombian and Peruvian. It's been nice having this time to myself, but I will say, as the daughter of immigrant parents, because that's where it always comes back to, guilt, I think. Guilt for having opportunities, guilt for not doing enough as a daughter, which is, you know, always just that voice that's in the back of my head that is not true. Honestly, guilt for not coming out of a good school and then somehow being a billionaire and being able to give back everything that my parents have sacrificed for me. I know that sounds crazy saying it out loud, but it really is. There's guilt there for not being able to do these things right off the bat for them, you know? I would say there's also guilt in like not having a really high paying job in the industry right now. Anything I do always goes back to them. And I feel like I've definitely dealt with this like my whole life. This guilt has always manifested itself in different ways throughout my life. God bless my parents, they are amazing. And I want to normalize talking about this without saying that it's like bashing your parents, because I love my parents. I'm super grateful for everything that they've done and given me. And I also know that one, it's their first time living life too. Two, they've given me everything that they have with the capacity that they have, you know? Something that's so great about our generation is that we normalize talking about mental health, seeking help when it's needed, and things like that. But for our parents, that stuff, they never even, talking about even going to see a therapist, like, that was for crazy people, you know? So I know that when they freak out over something and they're yelling at me about something, indirectly it's actually about something else. And it's a lot of work trying to kind of take it and translate it for yourself. So I brought up to my dad that I wanted to maybe adopt a dog, which I'm almost 23. That is not a crazy thing to want to do. But my Peruvian dad went from, oh, you want to adopt a dog? Somehow that conversation then ended in, you're throwing your dreams out the window. And like, this is the stuff I want to talk about, because I know for a fact I'm not the only person who's experiencing stuff like this. And I just think, one, it's funny. I write about this stuff all the time. Like, because it can be funny, right? I'm laughing about it now. But also in the moment, was it funny? No, absolutely not. And so that's why, like, I want to talk about it, because I want to be able to laugh about it, but I also want to be able to validate my feelings. Sometimes I'm way too hard on myself to the point where it can get unhealthy. I'm getting over a cold right now. I usually wake up 7:30 to get a head start on my day. I like going to the gym. I'll make my protein shake when I get back. I'll shower, eat, and start working. And I'll get a head start before I have any meetings. Last week, I really started coming down with this cold. So instead of waking up at 7:30, I listened to my body and I got up at 9 instead. So tell me why. After I did that, I was just miserable. I was like, God, why did I do that? Now I'm not gonna get X, Y, and Z done today. I could have been twice as productive as I'm going to be if I just had woken up early. And then I'll like be like, no, now I gotta try to make it up. I gotta try and get it done even though I didn't wake up early. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Well, that's your fault for sleeping in. Why did you sleep in? This is why you haven't achieved X, Y, and Z. This is why you aren't exactly where you want to be right now. And that's when it gets unhealthy, is when I start bashing myself. But then it's like, that's not my voice. And that's what I've been learning, is like differentiating. Wait, that's not me talking. Never, ever, ever want anybody to think that that I hate them. I love my parents, but is it helpful for my dad to be in my ear all the time, kind of like, so what's the next idea? Have you been thinking? Have you been writing? Did you think of the idea? And it's like, geez, can we talk about literally anything else? Being in a relationship does not help my case at all. Oh my Lord. It's like, to him it's a distraction, or to him he worries that me being in a relationship means I'm gonna end up having kids and getting married when it's maybe not the best time to be doing that, and that is going to delay me from achieving my dreams. And I'm so sick of hearing all of these things all the time, and then I have to remind myself, like, hey, give yourself grace. Everyone's just trying to figure it out like you. Like, people who are 30 and have a ton of experience in their field still get laid off from their jobs and still are figuring out their love life and their career. So it's okay for me to be 22 and also figuring out my life, you know? And I have to keep constantly reminding myself of that, because I am a hard worker and I know I'm going to be able to figure it out. But again, this guilt, the pressure, the added pressure that comes from parents in general, you know, I don't think it's just an immigrant parent thing. Yeah, my dad hasn't been able to look at me the same since I've been in this adult relationship. So I was 16 when I had my first boyfriend, and for some reason my dad has been having a really hard time. Well, he's always had a hard time with his daughter dating, because what Latino dad doesn't, right? And it almost feels like a joke, you know, like, oh, you can get married when you're 30, but like, no, they're not kidding. They mean serious business. I had to hide certain things from him, and not even anything bad. I had to hide, like, going to my boyfriend's house for dinner with his parents and his entire family, which is like, you shouldn't have to hide something so innocent, you know? I had to hide sometimes going to the movies and things like that. And you know what? My mom, like, she supported me doing these things, because she was like, I want to know where you are, and I want you to be able to go to a movie with your boyfriend, or, you know, hang out with his parents. But it's sad to me that I do think it is a part of our culture. Like, the daughter's not able to talk about these things with the dad. And my dad doesn't even want to know. I've tried. I talk about my period in front of my dad. I don't care. He gets uncomfortable. And I know you guys are thinking, like, oh, that's so machista. That's so... Yeah, it is. I'll talk about cramps. I'll be like, I'm cramping. Period hurts. And my dad will straight up be like, I love my dad, by the way, guys. I feel the need to remind you guys that I love him. Okay. And he'll be like, I don't need to know about that. Why are you saying this? And I'm like, because it's normal, and you should want to know about this. So yeah, with this relationship, he obviously knows that I go over and I stay at my boyfriend's place, and he comes to my place and stays for a couple of days, because that's another thing. I'm in like a mid-distance relationship. I don't like saying long distance, out of respect for the people who legitimately have to get on a plane to see their partner, you know? I'm an hour and a half drive, so I like calling it mid-distance. But yeah, we see each other on weekends and stuff, and that's been really hard on him, because he knows, you know? I know you know what I'm talking about. So, and it's just crazy, because he literally can't look at me the same. He's like so disappointed. And mind you, my dad's not even religious. So this isn't some, oh, you're doing things out of wedlock, or it's not like that. He literally is just like, this shouldn't be allowed. I hate that I'm not able to talk about my relationship with my dad or confide in him in any way. And I'm really grateful that I have my mom to be able to do that. But I can't imagine the emotional toll that some people have that are in my situation that don't have their mom or their dad to talk to. Like, I think I would legitimately go crazy if I couldn't talk to my mom about stuff. Like, for the people who just have Google, or even if you just have one parent like I do, you should still be able to talk about this stuff with other people that make you feel less crazy. Because the thing is, when you coop it up so much and you just don't talk about it, you start feeling crazy. And that's not okay. You're not crazy. So I hope this video reaches the right people, and whoever needs to hear this hears it right now. You're not crazy. You are doing things your own way. I'm sure your parents, your mom or your dad, in this case my dad, you know, very opinionated with how I should live out my life and what's the right thing the right way to do things. But let's be real, he's made mistakes too. My dad was a dad at 20, and I'm not shaming him for that. I think he did that and then realized, you know what, I don't want my kids to do things the way that I did it, which is also completely fine. But that also doesn't mean making them feel bad for just having a life in general. You know, I don't think telling your kids to not do things, like don't have a boyfriend, is effective in any way. I think you need to teach your kids how to be safe and how to do things the right way. But even then, the decision is up to them, to us, as to how we do things, you know? And I'm gonna make mistakes. You're allowed to mess up. Let me tell you something. Just because you feel like you're supposed to be this perfect version of yourself to make your parents proud because they sacrifice so much, or because they're expecting you to be this perfect version of yourself and they're constantly like, careful, don't mess up. Like, that's who my dad is with me, and like, I love that he's so worried about me. I know it comes out of love, but I do think it's so unhealthy, especially at this age. I'm like, when is this gonna end? It almost feels like for the first time ever, he is genuinely realizing that he doesn't have this control over me the way that he did when I was a kid. Because of course, when I was 10, my dad could tell me to do anything, and yeah, I had to listen. I was a freaking 10-year-old. But now, and I think that's what's killing him a little bit. I saw my mom and my dad before I went to Philly to visit my boyfriend. I think this was like 2 weeks ago. So this was recent, okay? And my mom knew I was going to Philly. Obviously had no problem with it. She was like, girl, go have fun. Have an awesome weekend, you know? And then I went to go say goodbye to my dad, and I'm very loving. I definitely I've had to yell at my dad to say I love you back to me because it's genuinely hard for him. Colombians are very like cariñosos, you know? So I love that comes easy to me. And so I like teach that to my dad because I never wanted to feel like I can't say I love you to my dad. So I hugged him, I gave him a little kiss on his forehead, and I was like, love you, puppy. I'll see you next week, right? He like forced it out. He was like, love you too, pero I not too happy. And I was like going to Philly, and I looked at him and I just laughed, and I was like, yeah, well, too bad. Do you know how excited I am to be financially independent? And it's funny because actually I was talking to my older brother, but I was literally telling him, I was like, I can't wait to be financially independent so that I don't have to worry about dad being so opinionated anymore. He was like, you think that's gonna stop dad from having an opinion about your life and like what you do with it? And I was like, no, actually, I don't think that. He was like, you're just gonna have to get used to setting boundaries with him, which I'm sorry, but like setting boundaries with ethnic parents. Are you joking? They make fun of my boundaries. Both of them do. They're like, I don't get this. We're supposed to be allowed to talk about everything. But anyways, I still try. So he was like, you're gonna have to be better about setting boundaries. You're gonna have to be better about just not taking things to heart. Because that's the thing I'm still working through. Like, my dad will be like, you're supposed to be doing this and this. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I'm doing everything wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I should be listening to my dad. And then my boyfriend and my mom and my brother. I have a great support system. Guys, I hope if you take one thing from this video is that if you're in a similar situation like me, you need a good support system. And part of that support system is also you supporting yourself, believing in yourself. But I literally have to remind myself all the time, like, that I'm okay. And thankfully, you know, I have my support system who also are like, no, you're doing things right. That's not you. What you're thinking is not you, it's other people. So remember your voice. That has to be the loudest thing above all the noise, you know? Now I sound like I'm crazy. It's probably because I am. I want to create a really nice community where we can talk about these things and just be honest about taboo topics that we don't talk about. I think it's so nice being able to come across somebody who genuinely can relate to you on so many levels.
Oh, I thought you locked me out.
I didn't. You want to say hi?
Yogurt.
No, do it again. Do a better job.
Just drinking a beer.
Oh my God.
Have you been recording this whole time?
Great look for you. Yeah, I have been actually.
So you're gonna finish up, do your makeup, have a drink, then we'll go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna play one more game then.
Okay. I hate how my hair, I have like Irish curls, I think that's what it's called. So far from being Irish, it's not even funny. I don't even know if that's what I should call it. Okay, it turned on again. It's at 4%. 4%. So the internal heat of the camera was too much and it just shut off for some reason. So yeah, anyways, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed just talking about this stuff, so I hope you guys did too. And again, if this resonates with you, comment down below what other topics you want to talk about. We can talk about it because talk therapy is the best. Okay, my camera's literally gonna die. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys.